Welcome to London Hullabaloo. In this first segment, which we're very privileged to be in on this programme, we have the great pleasure to present a group that I've been very closely associated with, Gerry and the Pacemakers. And the first number which they're going to play is a number which is the kind of number which first attracted me to this group and made me want to really manage them. And this is I'll Be There. Gerry and the Pacemakers made, with their first 3 records, 3 #1 hits. Following that, they went on to make personal appearances all over the world. And following that, early last year, they made a film set in their hometown of Liverpool, which was called Ferry Cross the Mersey. He's going to sing now one of the title songs from this film, which is called It's Gonna Be All Right.
It's gonna be all right.
Thank you very much, everybody. From us here in London, it's goodbye for this week. See you soon. All the best. Hello again from London Hullabaloo. This week, I have the great pleasure to introduce a very beautiful young girl who's only recently made a name for herself. Marianne Faithfull is going to sing 2 numbers, the first of which is called As Tears Go By. Marianne, that was great. Tell me, how long is it since you first made the first record, As Tears Go By?
About 6 months ago.
What was the story behind it? How did it all start and so on?
I met Andrew Oldham at a party. He asked me if I'd like to make a record because he thought I had a face that could sell.
And what did you think?
I thought, this is fine. Perhaps I have. Let's sell it.
Had you sung before?
No, just folk singing.
Not at all?
Folk singing around.
And how do you enjoy it, sort of now? I mean, you had a big success with that. How do you enjoy it?
I love it now. I didn't at first, but I'm beginning to be able to do things by myself and know what's happening. I love it.
You're going to go on and make more records and travel and make
I should
personal
think so.
appearances
I
and
want
so
to
on?
act very much. This is my special thing.
But continue
I like
with the...
making records.
Yeah. Well, I think it's great. I love the way you put them over, and I like the records too.
Oh, thank you.
I hope you have a lot of success, and thanks very much for doing this.
Thank you.
Enjoyed it. Thank you. Well, that's all from us in London, Hullabaloo. Look forward to seeing you again next week. From Marianne and myself, goodbye. Hello again from Hullabaloo, London. Ladies and gentlemen, this week we have great pleasure to introduce a young man and his group who have not appeared on American television previously. And this is a group which has had enormous success in Europe, and one which I have known for a long time from the north of England. And they're going to start with a number which was a big success here for them called I'm Telling You Now, and this is Freddie's own inimitable interpretation of his own composition. I'm Telling You Now. Freddie and the Dreamers were initially, and for some time, known for their great comedy style. And then Freddie went all serious, and he had an even bigger hit. And this is one that was the big hit in Christmas, in England last Christmas, and it was called I Understand. Great. Thank you, Freddie and the Dreamers. Well, that's about it for yet another week. We look forward to seeing you again next week. And from Freddie and the Dreamers and myself now, good night and thanks. Hello again from Hullabaloo, London. This week we have Cliff Bennett and the Rebel Rousers. This is a very big name of a big group with a very big sound. And Cliff Bennett has been purveying this sound around Europe for some years now, but he's not really come to the public's attention over here until recently, about 3 months ago, when he had a big hit with a great record called One Way Love. great, isn't it? So that's all from us. Next week we've got Herman's Hermits and also Dick Lester, who's coming along to talk to us about the new Beatles film, which will start shooting in a few weeks' time. From now, goodbye, all the best. Thanks. Hello again from Hullabaloo, London. That was Herman's Hermits with their very big hit, I'm Into Something Good. Now, Herman's Hermits are going to be back in our little show in a few minutes, but before that, we've got a very special guest who's come down today. The reason why he's come is to talk about four young men called the Beatles. They start work next week on their new film, and the director of that new film is the man who so very successfully directed for us last year, A Hard Day's Night. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Richard Lester. Richard, what do you think we could tell them about the new Beatles pick?
Well, first of all, it's going to be different from the last one. It will be in color. It will be a film that has a lot of plot and a lot of entertainment about it. And Ringo's in trouble again.
Do you think we should say right away that there's not going to be any love interest?
Yes, there's not going to be any love interest.
And do you think that that you're going to bring Ringo to the fore?
Well, he's attacked by a tiger, if that's what you mean. I mean, he has a lot of problems in the film, and the boys help him out of those difficulties. So, certainly he is in the fore, but we hope that the boys will be evenly spread throughout the film. They all will have as much to do, and the only thing is the other three are trying to save Ringo from himself.
You're shooting most of it in London?
Yes, a lot will be shot in London. There will be more shot in the studio because it's a more formal film than the last one. There'll be less of a documentary feeling. There'll be in fact, there's so much plot that I don't know whether we'll ever finish it or not.
Lots of new songs?
Lots of new songs written by those two fellows,
Oh, yeah.
them.
Well, yeah.
And a little bit will be shot in the sun, somewhere, we hope, on an island.
I'll be there, I think.
Yes, I'm trying to as well.
Dick, I hope that it's as successful as A Hard Day Tonight, naturally. And I wish you a lot of luck with it, and thanks very much for coming down.
Thanks, Brian. Thank you. Good night.
Herman's Hermits had a very big hit with that song which they came on here with today, and they've just produced a new one which they're hoping for big success with. Herman himself actually is only just 17, and he's made a big name for himself, who's a very young man. And here's his new one, Baby, Can't You Hear My Heartbeats? Babies are going to want to hear how Herman's heart beats. That's all from us in London this week. We look forward to seeing you again next week. All the best. Thank you. Good night. Welcome to Hullabaloo, London, once again. This week, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to introduce to you the band of Angels. These Angels are actually old boys of Harrow School. Harrow School is one of the most famous public schools in England, and actually amongst their old boys they can list Sir Winston Churchill. These particular old boys are in fact just went into business and then decided to form themselves into a group just about 9 months ago, and they've had some considerable success in Europe. And tonight they're going to play their new record, which is called Not True As Yet. Thank you, Band of Angels. I don't think you need to go back to school. Now, we have a bit of a surprise this week, ladies and gentlemen. We, just about 3.5 years ago, shortly after I started managing the Beatles, I invited a young man to help me to publicize the boys in England. He was already making a name for himself as a publicist, and he worked with us for about 6 months. After that time, he left us because he wanted to freelance, and he became quite a famous man in this country. And among other things that he does, he is in fact the manager of the Rolling Stones. And it gives me very great pleasure to introduce Andrew Oldham. Andrew, one of the things that has really crossed my mind about your tremendous success has been the fact that when you were with us, I didn't know that you had any inkling for producing records. Now, you do, in fact, produce the Rolling Stones records,
Yes,
don't
I
you?
do.
Well, how is it that in this short time, you know, you've made sort of such headway in producing records on such a professional level?
Well, it was sheer chance. When Eric Easton and I started with the Rolling Stones, we decided to produce their records outside and take them to the company. None of us had any idea about making records, but we went in and made it, and I discovered slowly that I did have a flair for it, and it was what I wanted to do.
I should think it's something about having rhythm inside you, isn't it?
Well, it's really rather like painting. It's like doing paintings, you know, sort of sound as colour. You just sort of build it up that way.
You manage the Rolling Stones and also the Poets.
The Poets.
And you also produce your own records, too. Do you want to go into management further and manage more groups?
No, I never handle the administration side of management. It doesn't suit my temperament. It's always left to somebody else.
I think it suits mine either, actually.
But records, making records is the thing I really want to do.
Yes. And it's also been said that you want to, you prefer to produce records in America rather than England. Is this true?
No, I prefer to produce records for America, as I feel you can make a more varied style of record and have more chance of succeeding with it. But I would rather make the records here for there.
Great to see you doing well. And
Thank you, Brian.
thank you very much indeed for coming down to the programme. All the best.
Thank you very
Produce many good records. Ladies and gentlemen, we must say goodbye now from Hullabaloo, London. See you next week. Thank you. Thank you, and welcome again to Hullabaloo from London. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, it's our very great pleasure to present a group who have established themselves over the last 2 years as one of the most accomplished British vocal instrumental groups in the country. They have acquired a sound which has been admired by young and old all over the world. Ladies and gentlemen, listen now to their new release, What Have They Done to the Rain? The Searchers.
The leaves not dead as the breeze blows by, just a little breeze.
That's all from us in London, from Hullabaloo this week. Look forward to seeing you again next week. Thank you and good night. Thank you very much, and hello again from London, Hullabaloo. About 20 months ago, when I was still living in the north of England, I went to Manchester one night to see one of my own groups playing at one of the very well-known beat clubs in Manchester called the Oasis. And at the end of the evening, the proprietress said to me, had I heard of a group called the Mindbenders? And at that time, I didn't know anything about the Mindbenders at all. It was a bit odd, anyway. And now, I know all about the Mindbenders. Wayne Fontana and the Mindbenders are going to play tonight for you a new record which was a very big success in this country, A Game of Love. Hello again from Hullabaloo, London. As my job in life is basically to manage artists, we thought it'd be a good idea again to put on a show an artist which I do in fact manage. And one of these is a young man who I met just over 2 years ago in Liverpool, Billy J. Kramer. And at about the same time I became impressed with a group that I saw in Manchester called the Dakotas. Well, fortunately they were impressed with each other and they got together and they made, with their very first record, the #1 spot in the hit parade here. Since then, they made several #1s, and they've had record successes which have not only been here, but all over the world. And that's taken them on travels all over the world. So it is really a great pleasure to present tonight Billy J. Kramer and the Dakotas with their new one, which is called It's Gotta Last Forever. Yes, well, I'm always a little bit more nervous when I've got one of my own artists on the show. It's Gotta Last Forever. Now, Billy J. Kramer and the Dakotas are going to play a number which they recorded last year on an LP, which is not really the kind of material which they, or their type of act, generally record. And oddly enough, to our surprise and delight, this one had a great deal of success and was heard very often on the radio and all sorts of programs consistently over a long time. Listen to The 12th of Never. Hullabaloo, London. Until the 12th of Never and until next week. We say good night and thank you. Hullabaloo, London. Welcome again to our show from London. But this week, actually, we are changing our location to studios, which in fact last year were used by a film company to make a little film called A Hard Day's Night. And this year, right at the very beginning, a band in fact, soared to fame, who had not in fact reached national acclaim previously. And they came up in a very big way, and it's a very great pleasure for us to present for the first time on American television Georgie Fame and the Blue Flames playing Point of No Return. Tell me, how long have you actually been in the business as a professional artist?
About 5.5 years.
And you are... how
21.
old? 21?
Yeah, I
Well,
came away when I was 16.
That's a long time, very young, to be in this profession. Did you ever during that time feel like giving it up or getting out of it?
Well, not really, no. I was a bit depressed a few times, but I always stuck by myself and I had faith in myself as a musician, and I intended to carry it out and see if I could get work with somebody.
Well, I don't think you'll be short of work now, and I think having faith in yourself has been the right thing. I think you're going to do very well indeed.
Thank you.
Can we have the big one now?
Sure.
The fabulous record, which was such a hit for Georgie Fame and the Blue Flames, Yeah Yeah.
You and me,
So Georgie Fame and the Blue Flames will go out all through London this week. Look forward to seeing you again next week. Good night and thanks.
how many times do I have to tell you, darling, darling, I'm still in love with you now.
Hullabaloo, London, and this week presenting very much a man who is very much a part of London. Joe Brown has been in the show business as a professional artist over 7 years. And he started as a pop artist and has now emerged very much as an established, bright personality of British show business. And it's our pleasure to present, for the first time on American television, through Hullabaloo, Joe Brown and his brothers playing his new release, Teardrops in the Rain. That's fine, Joe.
Thank you.
Joe, do you remember that show that we did in the north of England
Yes, I think I do.
during the time when you were number one in the hit parade with a picture of you?
Oh, don't bring back happy memories. Yes, I remember that actually, Brian. It's a very good show.
And I think there was a group called the Beatles, second on the bill
yeah,
to you. wasn't
very
it?
good group
Yeah.
called the Beatles.
It was a great show, that. Joe, you had many successes, just like a picture of you. How do you think that the groups today that have number ones and so on will make the transition, as you have done so successfully, to an all-round entertainer? Do you think as 5, 6, 7-man groups they'll be able to do that?
Depends, really. It depends what sort of stuff they play to appeal to general type audiences, If they do it sort of slowly, I think it can be done by everybody, introducing some different type of number in their act,
Mm.
I mean, you can't do it straight away, You can't come out and sing, I can't do it, and all that straight away. I mean, you've got to sort of do it gradually, otherwise...
Of course, many of them have one or two sort of personalities within the group.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
yourself.
Yeah. It's, well, but the thing is, you see, everybody in a group, there must be one personality there, and it's up to the rest of them to find him. I mean, I got a fella on the guitar, he's a bit of an idiot, you know, but I don't let him look like an idiot. I say, otherwise I'll be out of work, you see what I mean?
Joe, besides hit records and singing, you've become very well known for your guitar playing in this country. Why don't you do a little bit for us, perhaps? Spanish?
Spanish. Yeah, it's all right.
Good,
Right?
thank you. Great. Joe Brown, brilliant to play the guitar there. Music from my favourite country, Spain. That's all from us in London this week. Thank you and good night.